Greetings and happy MSME Day. The importance of micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, in national economies is very well known, as well as their global impact, since by number, they dominate the world business stage. When ICSB, with the support of Argentina, decided to present a resolution to the United Nations to establish June 27th as MSMEs Day, our idea was to showcase the importance of these enterprises in the achievement of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It is with great satisfaction that we witness the visibility of MSMEs has been increasing since the adoption of this resolution. Previously, the work done at the United Nations was more at a technical level, with specific agencies working on high-level documents and across the globe. They create most of the employment and represent more than 90% of the business population. They are the key to creating 600 million new jobs that will be needed by 2030 to keep pace with the growth of the world's working age population. The potential impact on achieving many of the Sustainable Development Goals is much greater than their size might indicate. However, the contribution of MSMEs to sustainable development is constrained by at least three factors. First of all, unfavorable business environments. Secondly, inadequate access to finance. And thirdly, the barriers that face MSMEs in the potential development. Policymakers set the environment that enables entrepreneurship and a vibrant business sector to develop. Many developing countries have embarked on reforms to facilitate business development. Governments can also take measures to support innovation by MSMEs and foster their participation in the economy. One good example of such policy change is in India, where the government recently amended its public procurement policy to increase the minimum percentage of goods and services public entities must procure from small enterprises. It has also included a provision mandating that the minimum proportion of public procurement be sourced from micro and small enterprises owned by women. Well-functioning, sustainable, and resilient infrastructure is also key to business development. In the growing world of digitization, e-commerce opened new trade opportunities for MSMEs. However, many developing countries, particularly in the African continent, remain relatively underconnected to the internet and thus to e-commerce platforms. It is estimated that more than a third of the African population is out of reach of an operational fiber optic transmission network, while only 17% of those living in LDCs used the internet in 2017. This underlines the importance of increasing investment in IT and communication technology. Secondly, bridging the financing gap. Despite some improvement, MSMEs continue to identify a lack of adequate financing as its biggest obstacle to growing their business. The MSME financing gap is estimated to be over $5 trillion. Female-owned businesses, typically smaller than those of male-owned, account for an outsized share of the financing gap, representing 28% of business establishments and 32% of the MSME financing gap. Financial constraints also prevent MSMEs from fully taking part in international trade. To bridge the MSME financing gaps, countries should consider harnessing technology, building an institutionally diversified banking sector, and designing the adequate supporting tools. Many MSMEs in sectors integral to attaining the Sustainable Development Goals, going through this global coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, MSMEs in many sectors integral to attaining the Sustainable Development Goals have faced a lot of obstacles. Through their core business activities, MSMEs contribute to achieving Sustainable Development Goals in their own countries. Micro and small and medium enterprises often deliver water and sanitation services in many low and middle income countries. They help achieve adequate sanitation and hygiene, including those in the most vulnerable populations. In the health sectors, SMEs in the developing world produce drugs, facilitate transportation of blood, run hospitals, and provide a range of goods and services. Similarly, SMEs provide a huge range of services in the education sector in many developing countries, where investments in their competitiveness improve the quality of education and thus the human capital of the workforce. Innovative energy firms can use new technologies to improve access to modern and sustainable energy services. Moreover, competitive family firms can improve food security and reduce hunger through the sustainable use of mountain, wetland, and dryland ecosystems. Businesses are key to Sustainable Development Goals 8 and 9. By identifying which of the SDG targets SMEs can contribute to and via which channels, it is possible to illustrate the importance of these channels by Sustainable Development Goal. This shows that SMEs can contribute in some measures to 60% or more of the targeted SDGs. The goals affected mostly by SMEs are SDG 8, which is the promotion of sustained and inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent work for all, which 83% of targets impacted by at least one of the 4 SME channels. And SDG 9, building resilient infrastructure and promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. This is very important that we all consider that SMEs are very, very important to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Finally, in the era of the COVID-19 pandemic, it is very, very important that policymakers, practitioners, researchers all come together to support small business owners. Small business owners are at the heart of developing communities, of developing local economies, and for creating decent jobs. In the end, I would like to thank and wish all small business owners worldwide a happy MSME Day. Thank you.